Yeah, see, I always ask the question though, how did you do it? And I want to learn. Can I learn from you? Like those are the things that I typically think
That's you.
when somebody's got it. Like, and I'm not talking about a like a skill. Like LeBron James has a skill that I don't have, right? So I can't really. That's not that. I'm talking about somebody who, let's say, got it from the mud and they're doing things that, let's say, I would like to do. Hey, how did you get into this political realm? Hey, what did you do? What useful contacts could you direct me and point me in a way that could help me elevate myself? And I I would like to think that most of us I would like to think that most of us, and maybe there's some naivety here, but most of us think like that. Like I don't want what you got. I want to know how you got what you got so I can elevate myself. Is that not something that we do as a whole?
Some of
Yeah,
us.
yeah. I think a lot of people do that, but I think like so the adage of, and I don't particularly agree with this adage, but you can't be successful around people that aren't successful without them feeling like you either owe them something or wanting exactly what you have. A lot of people feel that way. Like I've heard that adage for a long time. I personally don't have those feelings, but I kind of can see like in my personal life how people have reacted to me that way, and I can kind of spot it. And I ignore it a lot, like really ignore it. But
I,
I chalk it up to them just not knowing no better, right? So
see. Okay, so one of my close friends, he actually is now he's running two spots, a restaurant and a bar. He
mhm,
started as at a doing a liquor house in the back of his house,
mhm.
and now he's making over $300,000 a year legally because he decided to grind and get with the right people and be pointed in the right direction. And I think most of the people in my circle are like that. I just maybe I
you
need to
you
get around
probably
more
developed a
grimy
great
people. I don't
circle.
know.
No, you developed a great circle, and I think I got friends that are like that, but it came through filtering out some of the other stuff, right?
Mm.
So
That means we got to leave people. Like we have to be willing to leave people is and leave them behind.
Put them at an
it'll,
arm's
it'll
distance where they
be
can't be
yeah.
harmful, right? Where you can assist them without it putting yourself in a disadvantage to be hurt. Well, I'm sorry, now what you were saying.
No, no, go ahead.
That was it. That was my whole statement.
Um, so a lot of relationships are built on shared experiences, right? And the moment that those shared experiences diverge, people start to feel left behind, right? Because if we're honest, in order for you to establish yourself, you need to create some sort of distance so that you can focus, right? And then you have to establish yourself even further in order to reach back and help if that's what you want to do, right? And we have great examples of that. We have Shaq, we have LeBron, we have others that put their people in positions to also win once they're in a position where they've created a foundation. The problem is that a lot of people are so it some of them I think are narrow minded, and I think some of them come from a very lack mindset where they don't now, because we don't have a shared experience anymore, we just can't associate. And so I don't want to feel bad about myself, so I'm just going to project those feelings onto you, right? And I think that's really the root of jealousy when it comes to people who are close knit. Now when there's a distance, I think, to what Marcus was saying, it could be more of an envy thing of, that sense of entitlement or just that longing for. But when it's your people in your community, people in your family, your friends, whatever the case may be, it tends to be, we've lived life together and you've managed to find results, and it makes me feel bad about myself, but I don't want to feel bad about myself, so I'm just going to feel bad about you.
Mm.
Mm. Eh,
Sorry, I did want to say, somebody put it in the chat, and I like, I don't use the word hate very often, but I really hate the term of like pull yourself up by the bootstraps. That is a BS line that the greater community has fed down to people as if it's supposed to do something. I really would love to see somebody do it. You cannot actually physically pull yourself up by the bootstraps. It is a terrible adage. I'm sorry, Trigger Mike. I know, but like, let's be honest, right? You
It's
can't.
one of my favorites.
But here's the thing: is like the history of that line is because you were talking earlier about how the definitions of things changed. The history of that line started off as it being ironic. It was supposed to be a sarcastic comment, and now we're using it as a motivational line. It's terrible.
You got me. It makes no sense when you think about it.
Which is why I
Yeah,
always say pull yourself out the mud.
You can't do that shit either. Have you ever tried
I've done it metaphorically.
Yeah, I would just say stop being a sorry biscuit and go do something.
why biscuit though?
Oh, because you're being soft and flaky. That's why. You're being soft and fluffy and flaky.
Oh, okay.
You know
Got
what I'm
it.
saying? Get your butt up.
Yeah.
Get tough.
Yeah.
Go and do something. Stop crying.
Are we ready for the conversation, the real conversation that some people just like the mud? We are
I don't believe that.
in our arrogance, bro. We believe that we are meant to save all of these people when the reality is they like the mud. They like the attention that comes from being dirty. People care more about your issues. You know what I mean? They like it. I'm slowly learning that it's not meant to. Like, all you owe the hood, all you owe anybody who's in a bad situation is a good example and an opportunity if they ever come to you in earnest looking for one. Other than that, you can't help them. Not everybody, anyway.
So then, why have any conversation about the betterment of the community if we're waiting for, like, if we are not extending the hand?
Because, well, it's not about extending. So the more and more we look at it, we realize that all right, put it this way, how can we talk about community when people are so against building family? You can't have one without the other. How can
Shit,
people
I can't
reject
like that.
marriage but talk about we need to be in a community? We can't be a community of individuals,
Facts.
even though that's what the definition says. Communities are a group of families, bro. So, and remember, the kids that we used to have the most impact on were not random children. They were we had familiarity with these kids in a multitude of ways. They went to school with our children, so we felt a need to help them. They lived across the street. We worked with their father. Their mama worked with them. We had familiarity with everyone we felt a need to help. It was never really strangers helping strangers ever in life. Have anybody ever been helped a stranger to the point of helping them build well? We've never done that as human beings. We're capping.